Welcome everybody. This is my first speech for Toastmasters, so I want to just try it out to share with you. It went very well, actually. I have to say that the speech worked out pretty good. So I'm just gonna go right into it, and it's supposed to be 6 minutes long. I went over, and I'm just gonna practice here, and we're gonna see what happens. So let's give it a go. So speech. The name of the speech is called Miracle. Do you believe in miracles? Are they possible? Well, I want to tell you a story. Why I'm back at Toastmasters. One of the major reasons why is because I went through what I would call a perfect storm. I was here 7 years ago, and in that 7 year time, I basically went through a period of the only words I can describe it, and what I told my mom was I was in what I would call was the perfect storm. And the harder I tried to get out of it, the more I did, the more meditation, the more praying, the more 12-step meetings, the more groups, the more courses I took, the worse I was getting. It was like mind-boggling. Like, you'd think in our society that we're programmed, like, if something's not working, just go harder and give more and just give it more, right? And so basically I went through what I would call a perfect storm. And the turning point came was when I reached my ultimate, you can't go any lower point kind of thing. I was maxed out. Like, it was like I was done. Like, 25 years of, like, can you just imagine this? Like 25 years of giving everything you have, like just getting up every morning and going out there and, like, giving it everything you have. Like, no, you don't holding back. And I ran out of steam. The guys that might be watching this, if there's any guys from Freedom's Door, they can attest to this. When I rolled into Freedom's Door, which is a men's recovery facility for drugs and alcohol, I could not even get a word out of my mouth without having a panic attack. I was devastated. I was, like, floored because I'd given everything I had. Like, I gave every ounce of my ability, every ounce of my energy to heal, and I just wasn't. And it was heartbreaking. And so what happened was I had to go deep into the internal part of myself, and I had to find courage. And that courage, the only way I could get there was when I was dying. I couldn't get there. There's no way for me to access that without me dying. Like, it was like that. It's hard to put into words. Like, why did it take me so long to get to that level where I could get down that to where I needed to go? Part of it was because I was looking everywhere, right? I was looking everywhere for the answers rather than going within myself. And you often hear this, the answer is within you, right? And it just, I couldn't, it wasn't making sense to me. I thought the answer I had to find outside of myself. And so when I went deep, what I found was some courage. I found a courage within me it lifted me up a bit, because I needed that lift. There was no wind. The winds were out of my sails. I was, like, dead in the water, man. I was like, the perfect storm had decimated my boats and my winds and my sails, and I was just basically floating. And when I realized the truth, it set me on a course of action. And there was a few things I did that started me down a road of total transformation. And, like, I did many programs. I don't even want to mention the programs because I don't want to put them down. Like, I did basically everything you can do that I could think of to do. And so when I realized the truth, there was two things that I had to do. One of them was I had to face a man who tried to kill me when I was in Kelowna. He was assaulting me, and he was punching me in the face, and he tried to kill me, and I had to face him in court. I had to write letters. I had to write letters after letters after letters. Like, it was crazy. You think that I would have been able to have my voice heard in the courtroom, but it was not. It was a fight. I had to fight to get in there, but it was worth it. And when I looked this guy in the eyes and he looked me in the eyes, something happened, man. I don't know. I recognized the truth, which was I was looking at myself. This man externalized his anger and his violence, and I internalized it. And when I seen that, we had a moment where he even said, he said to me, "We're one." And it broke past the mind of my mind, and I was able to recognize that I was looking at myself. And the second thing I did that was really a powerful thing for me was I actually confronted and faced my father. Now, for family who are watching this, I have to precurse this and say this is just my experience. I have no anything else other than my own experience, right? That's all I have. And what I experienced was really intense. So I was able to face him and share with him my truth. But again, the same thing happened. You know, as I was leaving, I was tying my shoes up to leave the house. Tears were flowing down my eyes, and I remember looking at him, and I said to him, "Dad, there's probably nobody on the planet that's abused me more than myself." And it shook me to my core, because when I was a little boy, I promised myself, I said I was never going to be like this man. Never. I said I never would be like him. But what I did is I repressed a lot of like deep, intense emotions like violence and anger. You can't do that, man. You can't put a cap on these things, man. It's just like a waiting time bomb. But I did that because I didn't want to be what I was seeing. And the crazy thing is that I ended up amplifying that energy, and it turned against me. And it actually was so destructive that I almost destroyed myself. Like, life is funny, you know. It's like, what the joke was on me, right? In the sense that, like I said, I'd never be like this, and then I ended up being worse in a way. So those are the two things of realizing truth. And then when that happened, things started to change. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't overnight. The struggles that I was facing did not turn over overnight, and they still haven't gone. I'm still struggling, but like the perfect storm has ended, and I can't even tell you what that's like. When you're out of that storm, it's like, man, like a small storm is just like a day in the park, man. It's like, you can't even put it into words. It's like nobody will know what I'm talking about because they didn't experience it, right? But people that have, serious chronic things going on, and they'll know what I'm talking about. If you get a break from the storm, it's like, it's such a beautiful thing, man. So I've done a lot of stuff in this last little while. I've been involved in court cases. I've been studying the law. I've been studying different systems. I've been writing letters. I've been running with the police. It's called Run with Recruiters. I've really been loving that. I have a big smile on my face because, like, for me to even be there, it's like it's a miracle, and that's why it's just a miracle that these things can even happen. So I'm living each day. I'm enjoying each moment that I have, and I'm grateful for every opportunity that comes my way. So when it comes back to the speech, I want to just come back to the point, which was I've overcome my anxiety. Who you're seeing right now in front of you, I'm not perfect. I've had my fair share of faults and fallings and failures, and if you could only know the list, like the list would be like we can't even, I can't even put into words how many times I've fallen and failed and just been floored. That's not what the speech is about. It's about getting up, right? Getting up, keep going, and the miracle is what you're seeing in front of you right now is a miracle. The fact that I'm alive giving the speech to you is a miracle. So, what I asked you at the beginning, if you believe in miracles, I'm actually living proof of miracles. Thank you. And I wish you a good night and a good day.